Hello and welcome everyone to this online session. In this session, we are going to talk about the example in your textbook, which you can find in section 2.15. Now, the first part of this example asks you to run the program and observe the output. So the first thing that you should do while you're programming is to check if it compiles, and to check that you have to click run. Now, as you can see, the output of this program is coming normally, so then we can proceed. Now, the second part of the question says that change 40 to 35, and by that I assume that it's pointing to line 4 where there's a variable, integer type variable, work hours per week. So now we'll change the value 40 that's mentioned here and we'll change it to 35. After doing that, let's run the program and see what happens. As you can see, after changing the value, the output changes because this variable work hours per week is used in the following lines in the program. Okay, now let's proceed to point 2. The second part of this question asks you to add a variable work weeks per year and modify the program so that you can use this variable instead of the value 50 that's mentioned on this line and this line. So for that, let's add an integer variable work weeks per year, and let's initialize it with the value 50. Now let's copy this variable and replace the hard-coded values found on line 9 and 14. So let's change these values. After doing this, the program should run properly. Let's see. There it goes. Now the second part of this question says that you can change you have to change the value from 50 to 52 and see what happens. So now we'll change the value mentioned on line 6 from 50 to 52. After doing this, let's run and see what happens. And we see that the output changes, and that's okay. Now let's see the third part of this problem. It says introduce a variable monthly salary used similarly to annual salary to further improve program readability. So if you check line 9, you can see a variable annual salary which holds the output of this part of the equation. So we need to follow the same steps to add the monthly salary variable. Let's start. So let's add a variable named monthly and initialize it to 0 for now because it doesn't matter. Now let's look at line 15, and now what we have to do is we'll use monthly salary and let's equate it with this part of the expression. Let's copy this, let's place it here, end it with a semicolon. Now let's copy this variable and we'll replace this with the variable. And if we do this, the output should be same. Let's see. There you go. So now you can see that instead of using the formula directly inside system.out.println on line 16, we used an integer variable monthly salary, and we initialize that variable on line 8, and after that we used this variable monthly salary on line 16 to print the output. I think that's all about this part of the problem. See you later.